Hello my friends, and welcome back again to this series of video tutorials about the original Mount and Blade. Remember that Mount and Blade is an older game, came out in about 2008, but it stood the test of time. It's made the list of 100 greatest games of all time, and we're going through these tutorials. Tutorial 1 was about character creation, Tutorial 2 was about the overland map and locations and some of their benefits, and now today we're actually going to get into some gameplay, and we're going to start with the hiring of NPCs and things like that. So let's get to it. We're here in the tavern, and here in the tavern, first of all, we have some mercenary crossbowmen whom we could hire. If I hit F to talk to him, he'll say, "Do you have a need for mercenaries, sir? Me and 3 of my mates are looking for a master. We'll join you for 492 dinars. Right now, I don't have the money to hire these guys, so unfortunately, we can't do that. But he lets us know they'll be here for a while, and we can come back and hire them if we want." When you come to taverns, you'll encounter a number of different kinds of characters. Number one, you'll encounter mercenaries you can hire. They could be swordsmen, they could be crossbowmen, they might be cavalrymen. You just never know. It depends on what you run into. Secondly, you'll have the tavern keeper himself, and you can talk to him, and if you have the money, you can tell him that you want to buy a jug of wine for everybody who comes in, and that'll improve your relationship with the town. Then we can also run into ransom brokers, we can run into travelers, and we can run into specialized merchants. Now, the ransom broker, basically, if you capture enemy troops, you can come to the ransom broker, and he will buy all of them that you have for 50 dinars each. Then what he does is he turns around and ransoms them back to his family for like 100 dinars each, and he makes himself a profit. So you're not selling them as slaves, you're ransoming them back to their families. Secondly, we might find the book merchant here. There are certain books that you can buy. They're very expensive, but if you buy the books and you read them, you can gain benefits to your skills. Like there's books that'll give you an improvement in your sword fighting. There's books that'll improve your healing abilities. There's books that will improve your leadership, and so on and so forth. You can also encounter travelers. Travelers can tell you where one of your companions is if you lost track of them, like you lost a battle and your companion disappeared. They can also tell you where you can find claimants to the throne, people who claim to be the true king or queen of an area. And they can also tell you a little bit about the land. Lastly, what we can encounter in the taverns is we can encounter hireable NPCs. Now, in this case, this is Emira, and let's find out what Emira's story is. She says yes. Now, I spoke to her at the end of the last video, and so I have to ask her her story again. My apologies if I was rude earlier. What was your story again? My father was a well-known merchant in Nara. He decided that I should be married to one of his business partners, a man well past 30 years of age. I have been an obedient daughter all my life, but it was a ridiculous and horrid proposition, so I ran away. I shall marry whom I want, when I want, moreover, regardless of what my father might think. I am perfectly capable of taking care of myself. I was thinking that I should perhaps join a band of gypsies, or perhaps a troop of mercenaries. And so we said, well, as it happens, I run a company of mercenaries. Now, we could go, go back to your family last. Fathers must always be obeyed. But I actually like to hire her because she has some good skills available for us. Well, as it happens, I run a company of mercenaries. She says, do you? Well, I'm in no position to be picky. I'd be pleased to join you. I think you would find I would be a most valuable addition to your ranks. I am well versed in the classics of literature and can declaim several of the epic poems of my people. I play the lute and am a skilled manager of household servants. That's a start. We can teach you the rest. Good, give me a few moments to prepare, and I'll be ready to move. Now, some NPCs will join you without having to give them money, and some of them will want as much as 400 dinars before they'll join you. She happens to be one who will join us without having to pay. You'll remember that if we hit P, it brings up our party, and you'll see that Ymira is now added to our party. And if we click her name, it shows us a picture of her, and we can move her up or down in the list. We're going to move her up next to us. And here having ourselves in the tavern, we can't actually talk to her right now. But remember that we have personal skills and party skills. And her party skills show over here. So I happen to have tactics as one of my party skills, but she has trade of 3, first aid of 3, surgery of 1, and wound treatment of 1. And so she's very useful to us because, number one, she'll get us better prices when we go to the market to buy or sell things. And secondly, first aid will help us heal in between conflicts, and surgery will help keep our people from dying if they're wounded in battle. And wound treatment will help us heal faster. So, I mean, she's got some very useful things going on. But let's get on out of here. We don't have the money to hire the mercenary crossbowmen. And we're going to need to hire some villagers because they're inexpensive. But now we're actually going to get to playing the game itself. So we're going to hit tab to get out of here. And we're going to hit I for our inventory. And you'll see that we have 110 dinars. We have our crossbow. We have our crossbow bolts, our rusty sword, and our battered old shield, and our sway-backed horse. But now that we're out of the tavern, we can actually talk to Amira. So we hit P for party, and we highlight Amira, and now we can click the talk button. All right, so the first thing we want to do is see her equipment. Let me see your equipment. Very well, it's all here. And we click again, and now we can see what all she has. She has woolen hose, her dress, which offers her very little protection, and basically a kitchen knife. She can't even use it to block. Okay, so she has very little in the way of equipment. We can ask her what her skills are. Can you tell me about your skills? All right, let me tell you. We see that she's only got a strength of 6. She's not very strong, but she's very agile and very smart. And she has a little bit of athletics that helps her run faster. She can ride up to a level 3 horse, and that's very good because that means we can get her on a horse as soon as possible so that she moves at a good pace. She has inventory management. She has wound treatment, surgery, and first aid. She has a 3 in those. And she also has a 3 in trade, so we can see all her skills here. In terms of her weapon proficiencies, well, she's sorely lacking. She's only got in the 20s for the various weapon proficiencies, but eventually she'll get better. We can tell her that we need to separate for a while and release her from the party, and we can ask her some questions. We can ask her how she feels about the way things are going with our company. Now, having just joined us, she's going to have a very positive view. She's going to say she's happy about our choice of companions because there's no other companions for her to be unhappy about. She's happy about our style of leadership because we haven't made any big mistakes yet. And she's happy about the general state of affairs. If she was unhappy about one of these things, she'd tell us here. And we can also ask her to tell us her story again, and she talks about where she comes from and the reason that she left home and all that stuff again. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've hired ourselves a companion, and we're going to leave the town of Nara. Now, there are a lot of looters out here. Here we have 4 looters, and there's several other groups of looters. Looters are really the lowest level enemies that we can encounter. Later on, there's much, much more dangerous things, and actually going out this way into the land where everything's purple, there are a lot of bandits, and it's really dangerous for a beginning character. But what we want to do is we want to hire some villagers to start working for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride over first. Oh boy, yeah, there's a lot of them. They're all over the place here. These are looters. These are actual farmers, but we're going to ride here to Dashbiga. And we're going to recruit some volunteers, and nobody wants to join our party. That's because we have very little renown. So now we're going to go over to Kadelki. This is where the Kurgits are, and they're, like I said, they're like Mongols, and I happen to be partial to them, so that's why I'm trying to hire villagers from these villages. Go to Kadelki, and recruit villagers. Hey, we got 4 of them that want to join us. Villagers, no matter what village it is or what kingdom it is, cost 10 dinars to hire. So there's 4 Kurgit tribesmen, and we'll recruit them for 40 dinars. All right. And we'll leave, and we'll go straight across to Ada Kaloon. Hopefully we don't get jumped along the way, but now we've got a few men with us, and so if we do get jumped by looters, it shouldn't be too bad. At nighttime, you travel much more slowly than during the daytime. Right across to Ada Kaloon. And in Ada Kaloon, you notice we don't have the option to hire villagers. That means that there are no villagers available here to hire. Because if there's villagers available, it'll give us the message here. So we're just going to leave Ada Kaloon, and we have 8 looters there. What we're going to do is we're going to go back by Nara, and we're going to go to this little town of Bulagur and hope that we don't get attacked along the way. I like to have at least 8 villagers before we start messing with any looters. Oh, they almost jumped us. Recruit volunteers, and 1 Kurgat joins us, and there we go. So now we have a grand total of, if we click party, you see we have 6 Kurgat tribesmen. All right, we have Emira, and we have my character. Now I think it's time for us to get to the meat and bones of why we play this game. You know, eventually we're going to develop enough renown by winning battles that we're going to be able to go to work for a lord, or possibly even the king himself, and begin kind of building our own little special place. We'll have property of our own and things like that. But this game, why do we play it? We play it for the fighting. And to fight, you pick an enemy, you click on them, and once you join...
limb from limb.
So we've encountered these looters. Lucky for you, you caught me in a good mood. Give us all your coin, and I might just let you live. And I say, I'm not afraid of your lot. Fight me if you dare. We click again, and now it's going to give us the information. You have encountered looters. You have 8 troops fit against their 9. Now, the choices that we're going to have here are to charge the enemy. I can order my troops to attack without me. And even if they win, the odds are that we're going to lose troops just because they're not going to have me there, and me being there as their leader makes them fight better. I could pull back, leaving some troops behind to cover my retreat, and of course we'll lose those troops. Or we could surrender, and surrender is not an option, because if I surrender, I will lose all of my troops, plus they'll probably rob me, and take what little money I have, and they may even take some of my equipment. So instead, we're going to charge the enemy. Now, I'm pressing F1 because that's going to make everybody stop, all right? If we are in a battle, we have infantry, archers, and cavalry. Luckily, you see the Kurgats are all on their horses, and that makes them cavalry. 1, 2, and 3 choose the various classes of troops. 4 and 5 allow us to make other choices, and I suggest that you look at the manual to look at those keys. F1 will make people hold a position, F2 will make them follow you, and F3 will make them charge. And the command interface, I'm not going to really go into that. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to tell them to charge, because we are going to see about kicking the butt of these looters. And I'm probably going to lose some men. Yep, one of my Kurgat was just killed. That's not good. And 2 of them were killed. Wow. They're not doing so good. I just killed him. Ooh, he blocked it. Namir is in there with her little kitchen knife. That's pretty funny. Oh, there you go. Good job. And I killed him. And I killed him. And they're knocking him around pretty good. There we go. So, when it comes to your weapons, by scrolling your mouse wheel forward, you will change which weapons you're holding. Okay? To put away your shield, roll your mouse wheel back. To roll it back again, we'll put it back in your hand. But these things are all things you'll have learned by playing the tutorial. So please make sure you play the tutorial because it'll teach you how to handle your weapons. That's why I didn't go into handling the weapons. This was more about what this is all about, fighting and getting the loot. So we're going to press tab because the battle is over. You can see 3 of our Kurgat tribesmen were killed, but we killed 9 looters. 4 of them were killed and 5 of them were wounded. If I had prisoner management, we'd have been able to take all 5 of them captive. But you can see here our Kurgat tribesman that it's got a little plus behind his name. That means we're able to upgrade those troops if we have the means to do so. So we're going to upgrade them from Kurgat tribesmen to Kurgat skirmishers, and now you'll see they've got a little bit better weapons and actually a little bit better horses too. Okay? But now comes the loot. So what were we able to loot from them? Well, a couple of falchions, which are one-handed weapons. All right. They have a strength requirement of 8. We've got some tattered boots and some nomad armor, some butcher knives, a chipped hatchet, and some tattered wraps. Now, what we're going to do is hit P to bring up our party, and we're going to click on Amira, talk, and let me see your equipment. And now what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able, you notice that her woolen hose have 4 leg armor, and these tattered boots don't give any leg armor. But these nomad boots give 11 leg armor, so we're going to give her those. Now her dress gives her 6 body armor and 2 to the legs, but you'll see that the nomad armor here is up in the 20s, so we're going to give her some of the ragged nomad armor. Okay. And I'm actually going to take some of the ragged nomad armor myself because it's better than what I've got. And her little knife does 21 cutting and 13 piercing. And this actually does 23 and 6, so we're going to upgrade that a little bit. Her strength is only 6, so she can't use the falchion. Okay. And instead, we're going to give her the hatchet, actually, I think, is a better choice. 22 chopping. So she's got the hatchet and the knife. We've upped her armor a little bit. We've upped our armor a little bit. And I'm going to give her my crossbow because I'm a gentleman. I'm going to stop with the hatchet, and I'm going to give her the crossbow so she'll have the knife and the crossbow. And I'll be stuck using my sword and shield for now, but we're going to go to town and we're going to sell this stuff and we're going to make a little bit of money. Okay, let's go to Nara. Go to the marketplace. Now any one of the merchants will buy all the stuff that we've got, so it doesn't make a difference which one we go to. I'm going to go to the goods merchant and we're going to sell the falchions, the woolen hose, my ragged leather jerkin, her dress, the nomad armor, the butcher knives, the hatchet, and the tattered boots. And you see it's a grand total of 103 dinars. There we go. Now I'm going to go to the arms merchant. Now the reason I'm going to the arms merchant is I'm hoping that he'll either have a bow and arrows that I can manage to get hold of, or that he will have a spear that I can use. Here's a heavy lance. I don't have the strength to wield it. It requires a strength of 10, and you see the letters are red, so I can't wield that. But he does have a boar spear for 140, so I'm going to buy that boar spear. And I just can't afford... Well, tell you what, actually, well, no, the arrows are too expensive, unfortunately. They're 133. Let's see. Hunting bow. I'm going to sell him my sword. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to give that sword to Amira. So I have the hunting bow and some cheap-ass arrows. And I'm going to have to sell him my sword. And I'm still not going to have enough. Still not going to have enough. So I'm not going to be able to buy the bow and arrows. So I'm going to buy the bow. And after we manage to beat up some more looters, hopefully I'll be able to come back and buy the arrows. But now that I have the spear, now I am a happy camper, because my personal preference is to fight with the lance from horseback and use the bow. Now, the crossbow is awesome. Swords and axes and things are awesome. I happen to be a dyed-in-the-wool lancer. Give me a pointy stick and a horse, and I'm all good to go. But now, what we're going to do is we've got a little bit of money left over, so we're going to go back to Ada Kaloon and see if we can hire a few more Kurgat warriors. Well, Kurgat villagers, not warriors yet. Nope, nobody to hire here. So we'll go back to Kadelki. And we can't hire anybody there yet. Try Dashbiga. Nope. So we have to basically wait a full day before we can hire anybody. But I saw a small group of looters over here. There they are. 8 of them.
Break your legs. Nice and slow.
It's your money or your life, mate. No sudden moves or we'll run you through. I say, I'm not afraid of you lot. Fight me if you dare. Now, the reason I'm pleased to have this boar spear is because now I am a lancer. We're going to tell them to charge the enemy. And when I take my spear out, now when I get to a high enough speed, you see I lower the point of my spear. And I can actually charge these guys and hit them with my spear. And it's okay that she's back there because she's really weak right now. And here we go. Let's see if we can spear this guy. There we go. Just killed him. Let's see if we can spear this guy. There we go. And we ran into him with our horse. Let's see if we can spear this guy. There we go, speared him, and banged into him with our horse. Speared him. See, now that I've got my weapon of choice, these looters are in trouble. And poor Ymira, she's just getting up here to fight now. Let's go help her. Spear him, there we go. I don't know why she's not using the crossbow. Knock him down with our horse. There, she's using the crossbow. Not very well. Oops, spear him. There we go. Stab him. Ow. Get him. Get him with your stick. There we go, speared him. And it looks like we've got 2 of them left. But as you can see, there we go, we just hit level 2. And that's what I was hoping to finish out this. There we go, and that was the end of them. We are successful. And that's what I was hoping, was that there would be enough kills for us to go up a level. And old Ymira, I'm very proud of Ymira. By golly, she held her own pretty good. She held her own pretty good. Alright. Well, so the first thing we're going to do is hit tab, and you'll see that we had one of our tribesmen wounded. So having Ymira in our party meant that he got wounded instead of killed. And we managed to kill the 8 looters. And as you can see, again, some more chipped falchions, some more raggedy nomad armor and butcher knives. Oh, look at that. We got a sturdy woolen cap. We'll plop that on our head. And some chipped hatchets, some rocks. It's not going to get us a lot of money, but hey, it's loot. And I got a snazzy hat for a little while. So we're going to hit return. Now, as you know, whenever we are not actively moving about, time pauses. So you see he's just hanging right there in outer space. We're not moving. But now I'm going to hit C, or I can click on the character button. And you can see we now have 1 attribute point available, 1 skill point available, and 10 weapon points available. Now, this is where things get good here. If we add a point of strength, it will give us 1 hit point. If we add a point of agility, it will give us 5 more weapon points over here. If we add a point of intelligence, it'll give us an extra skill point here, so we'll actually have 2 skill points to work with. And if I take a point of charisma, it'll give me 1 more follower that I can have. Okay? Those are the direct benefits. And then if we get the numbers up to a certain point, of course, we can also get extra things going on here. But so the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to choose intelligence so that I get 2 points to work with here. And you'll see we can't bring up our leadership. Remember that the numbers over here can never be more than 1/3 of whatever the main attribute is that they're based on. So leadership is based on charisma. You see when we mouse over one of these in the upper right hand corner, it'll tell us about the skill and what its current level is and its base attribute and that. But what I want to do is I want to put 1 point into, let's see. I am going to put a point into prisoner management. That will allow us to start taking some captives. And I'm going to put a point into horse archery, because that will make me better at shooting the bow from horseback. Alright, and then now I have 10 weapon points that I can distribute. I'm going to put them directly into archery. There we go. So now my archery is up to 54. My pole arms, because I use my spear all the time, it's actually going to go up fairly quickly all by itself. And there we go. So we're at about 27 minutes, but this has been our 3rd episode in which we have been playing the original Mountain Blade. I'm going to take myself to Nara and sell my loot. And nighttime has arrived, which means in the morning we'll be able to hire more villagers from those villages around here locally. But I'm going to go to the marketplace and go to the arms merchant, and I'm going to sell all this stuff, except for the bow, of course, because we want to hold on to that. Now we've got 110 dinars there, 46 dinars there, and between the two of them, that should be enough, I think. Arrows are 133. By golly, we'll have enough. So I'm going to grab these arrows, and you'll see I must pay 87 dinars. There we go. I'm going to hit I for inventory. And now we have our bow. So I'm going to have my bow and my spear, and this rusty sword I'm going to give to Amira, so that instead of just this crappy butcher knife, she's going to have the hunting crossbow and she'll have the sword. And I think I'm going to lend her my shield until we can get her a better shield. And there we go. I'm going to take that butcher knife just to have something for up close and personal. But there we go. So in the course of today, we've learned about hiring NPCs. We've learned about collecting villagers at villages to add. We've had a little combat. We've managed to up our equipment a little bit. Managed to get a spear. Managed to get a bow and arrow. And upgraded her some. And she's even got my shield right now. She's now my shield maiden. Alright guys, well thank you for joining me, and thank you for indulging these 30 minutes. And if you are enjoying Mountain Blade, please let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button because that tells me you're enjoying this, and we will do more. But our next episode is going to be straightforward playing Mountain Blade. And anything else that we learn along the way, we're going to learn by playing rather than trying to do it tutorial-wise. So thank you for joining me. This has been Dalakaba and Amira, and we're out. Peace.